the courts does not interfere in any legislation passed by the parliament or any state assembly, provided those some of the provisions are contrary to the basic structure of the constitution. If it is arbitrary, if it has been passed without taking the stakeholders in account, their deliberations. But here the joint parliamentary committee meetings took place, and number of the suggestions were invited, and the committee deliberated upon it, and they subsequently passed it. That is why, if you remember the opening statement of Honorable Chief Justice, that when a legislation is passed, courts generally do not interfere. So now there are second argument, Vinit, by which you just said the Waqf is not essential part of the Islam. Yes, very true. It is not the essential religious practices, or it is not the essential part of the Islam. It was created in order to work the property. But later on, what happened? The Waqf Board and Waqf Tribunals became an organization to absorb the land of those who are not having adequate opportunities to represent. Second, three types of court exist in this country: that the Union Judiciary under Article 124 to 146, High Courts under Article 214 to 231, and subordinate courts under Article 233 to 237. But here, under the Waqf Act, or the properties which were deliberately, knowingly were taken by the Waqf Board members, were not falling on any of the courts which has been constitutional authorities which has established here. There was only the Waqf Board and the tribunal, and the decision of tribunal was final and binding. No appeal, no review, no revision. Waqf Act, you starting from 1954 till 2013 amendment, if you will see Vinit Bhai, there is no provision that an appeal shall lie to the court of law. Under the special circumstances under Article 227, which is available everywhere, that was the only thing when a person can approach to the court. If a board has taken a decision that this property falling in the Waqf property, then only remedy was the Waqf Board and the Waqf Tribunal, and Waqf Tribunal consisting of the same set of people who are from the same religion. So what kind of, does it not, that is called a constitutional tribunal? Of course not. Third, Vinit Bhai, if you see, there is one of the provision in the Waqf Act, Section 40, which was existing earlier, which has now been taken over. Section 40 was the unique provision, means that if Waqf Board identified, determine the status of the property, and person aggrieved has to go to the court only, board only. And here, if any other dispute arises in other part of the religion, other religious people, like the people are giving, bhai jo Hinduo ke mandir hai, that there is a court, civil court you can go to. You can go to the High Court, you can go to the Supreme Court, but here in Waqf Act you cannot go to the court. Court's remedy was barred. So that is why there was a need to have a legislation which gives powers to the citizens of this country to approach the court. Section 40, unique provision authorizing the Waqf Board to make an inquiry in respect of the land to find out as to whether the property is Waqf property or not, means that those who would be owner tomorrow, they will only say, they will only deliberate that whether this property is there or not. The person who has a ownership of the property does not have any right. And it's not only affecting the Hindus or other, it was Muslim brothers and sisters, they were also seriously affected over this. Yes, but that is why there was a need to have a legislation, and that Parliament has brought it to it. Honorable Supreme Court is deliberating, and if Honorable Supreme Court finds that something is wrong, Honorable Supreme Court is always can do it, can amend it, can ask the Parliament to amend it. But here, I think as a citizen of the country, the amendment is constitutional, legal, logical, and must be implemented in true letter and spirit. Over to you.
Valid points, Ashwani. Thank you so much. That was brilliant articulation. Sumit Peer, your response to what's going on.